Rebuild yourself, not because you are broken beyond repair, but because the version of you that carried you through yesterday may not be strong enough to carry you into tomorrow. There are moments in life when everything familiar begins to fall apart. Plans fail, relationships change, confidence disappears, motivation fades, and in those moments, it is easy to believe that you are losing yourself. But sometimes losing the old version of yourself is the first step toward becoming someone stronger. Rebuilding yourself is not a dramatic overnight transformation. It is a quiet decision repeated every day. It is choosing discipline when comfort is available. It is choosing growth when excuses feel easier. It is choosing responsibility when blaming others would protect your ego. The strongest version of you is not created in a single moment of inspiration. It is built through thousands of small choices that nobody applauds while they are happening. Imagine a house that has been damaged by years of neglect. The walls may still be standing, but the foundation is weak. If you simply paint over the cracks, the house may look better for a while, but the structure will continue to deteriorate. Real rebuilding requires something deeper. It requires examining the foundation, removing what is unstable, and rebuilding with stronger materials. Your life works the same way. You cannot rebuild yourself by changing only what is visible. You must examine your habits, beliefs, mindset, discipline, and daily routines. There was a season when I realized that I had been trying to improve my life while still protecting the habits that were keeping me stuck. I wanted better results, but I was not willing to change the patterns producing the old results. One day I had to ask myself a difficult question. What if the life I want requires me to become a different person than the one I have been? That question forced me to stop waiting for circumstances to change and start changing the way I lived every day. Rebuilding yourself begins with honesty. Honest about the habits that are wasting your time. Honest about the fears that are controlling your decisions. Honest about the excuses that sound reasonable but produce no progress. Honest about the environments that are draining your energy. You cannot rebuild what you refuse to examine. Denial may protect your feelings temporarily, but honesty gives you the power to change. The next step is to let go of the version of yourself that no longer serves your future. This does not mean hating who you have been. It means recognizing that some habits, beliefs, and patterns belong to a chapter of your life that has ended. Let go of the habit of procrastination. Let go of the habit of speaking negatively about yourself. Let go of the habit of seeking validation before taking action. Let go of the habit of comparing your private journey to someone else's public highlight. Every habit you release creates space for a stronger habit to grow. Rebuilding yourself also requires patience. A builder does not become frustrated because the foundation is not visible from the outside. The builder understands that the foundation is the most important part of the process. In the same way, your growth may not be obvious to everyone around you at first. Your mindset may be changing before your circumstances change. Your discipline may be improving before your results become visible. Your confidence may be growing before anyone else recognizes your transformation. Trust the process. The work happening beneath the surface is preparing you for what will eventually become visible. One of the most powerful ways to rebuild yourself is to rebuild your relationship with your own word. If you promise yourself that you will wake up early, wake up early. If you promise yourself that you will exercise, exercise. If you promise yourself that you will study, study. Self-respect is built through kept promises. Every time you follow through on a commitment to yourself, you strengthen trust in your own character. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you weaken that trust. Rebuilding yourself means becoming someone you can rely on. There will be days when rebuilding feels difficult. You may feel tired. You may feel discouraged. You may question whether your effort is making a difference. In those moments, remember that rebuilding is not about feeling motivated every day. It is about continuing to move forward even when motivation is absent. Discipline carries you through the days when emotions are unreliable. Purpose keeps you focused when progress feels slow. Think about a sculptor working with a block of stone. The final masterpiece is not revealed all at once. It emerges through repeated effort. Each strike of the chisel removes what does not belong and reveals more of the form hidden inside the stone. Your personal growth works the same way. Every disciplined choice removes a piece of the old version of yourself. Every honest decision reveals more of the person you are capable of becoming. Every day you choose growth over comfort. You are shaping a stronger identity. Rebuilding yourself also means rebuilding your mindset. Stop defining yourself by your worst moments. Stop treating temporary setbacks as permanent identity. Failure is an event. It is not a life sentence. Mistakes are lessons. They are not proof that you are incapable. A setback may delay your progress, but it does not have to destroy your purpose. Learn from what happened, adjust your approach, and continue moving forward. Another important part of rebuilding is rebuilding your environment. The people you spend time with, the content you consume, and the habits you allow into your daily routine all influence the person you are becoming. Surround yourself with people who challenge you to grow. Consume content that strengthens your mind. Create routines that support your goals. Your environment should make it easier to become the person you want to be, not harder. As you rebuild yourself, focus on becoming stronger in the areas that matter most. Build your discipline so you can keep going when motivation fades. Build your knowledge so you can make wiser decisions. Build your health so you have the energy to pursue your goals. Build your emotional control so temporary feelings do not control your future. Build your character so success does not change who you are at your core. Do not compare your rebuilding process to someone else's highlight reel. Every person has a different journey, a different starting point, and a different timeline for growth. The goal is not to become better than everyone else. The goal is to become better than the person you were yesterday. Measure your progress by your consistency, your honesty, your discipline, and your willingness to keep improving. One day, you will look back at this season and realize that rebuilding yourself was one of the most important decisions you ever made. You will see that the pain, confusion, and setbacks were not the end of your story. They were the beginning of a new chapter. They forced you to examine your foundation, strengthen your habits, and develop a deeper understanding of who you are and who you want to become. So rebuild yourself. Rebuild your mind with truth. Rebuild your habits with discipline. Rebuild your confidence with consistent action. Rebuild your character with integrity. Rebuild your future one decision at a time. Do not rush the process. Do not become discouraged by slow progress. Every small improvement is a brick in the foundation of a stronger life. And when the rebuilding is complete, you will not simply be a repaired version of who you used to be. You will be someone wiser, stronger, more disciplined, and more prepared for the future. The old version of you may have been shaped by circumstances. The new version of you will be shaped by intentional choices. That is the power of rebuilding yourself. It allows you to stop living as a victim of your past and start living as the architect of your future. And once you begin to see yourself as the architect of your future, everything changes. You stop waiting for perfect conditions and start creating better conditions through your daily choices. You stop asking whether life is being fair to you and start asking whether you are being faithful to the person you are becoming. This is the moment when rebuilding becomes more than a temporary effort. It becomes a new standard for how you live. The strongest people are not those who never fall apart. The strongest people are those who learn how to rebuild after they have been challenged. A storm can break a tree that has shallow roots, but a tree with deep roots can bend, recover, and continue growing. In the same way, your setbacks do not have to destroy you. They can reveal where your foundation needs to be strengthened. Pain can become a teacher. Failure can become information. Disappointment can become direction. If you are willing to learn from what happened, your hardest season can become the beginning of your strongest season. Rebuilding yourself requires courage because it forces you to face uncomfortable truths. You may discover habits that have been holding you back for years. You may realize that some environments are draining your energy. You may recognize that certain beliefs about yourself are no longer serving your future. This process can feel difficult because letting go of old patterns often feels like losing a prospect. But remember this: familiarity is not always a sign that something is healthy. Sometimes what is familiar is simply what has been repeated for a long time. One of the most important steps in rebuilding is learning to separate your identity from your pronouns. You may have failed. You may have made poor decisions. You may have wasted time or missed opportunities. But those moments do not define the totality of who you are. They are chapters in your story, not the title of your story. A person who is rebuilding understands that failure is not proof of worthlessness. It is proof that growth is still necessary. Every mistake contains a lesson, and every lesson can become a tool for building a stronger future. As you rebuild yourself, pay close attention to your daily routines. Your routine is the structure that supports your future. A strong routine does not need to be perfect, but it does need to be intentional. Create habits that move you toward your goals. Wake up with purpose. Set aside time for learning. Take care of your body. Protect your focus. Reflect on your progress. These simple actions may not feel dramatic, but they are the bricks that build a stable and disciplined life. A strong life is rarely built through one extraordinary moment. It is built through ordinary moments handled with extraordinary consistency. There will be days when rebuilding feels lonely. Not everyone will understand the changes you are making. Some people may prefer the version of you that was easier to predict. Others may become uncomfortable when they see you setting boundaries, pursuing growth, and refusing to settle for old habits. Do not let their discomfort become your limitation. Your responsibility is not to remain small so that others feel comfortable. Your responsibility is to become the healthiest, strongest, and most disciplined version of yourself. Another essential part of rebuilding is learning to control your inner dialogue. The way you speak to yourself matters. If you constantly tell yourself that you are incapable, unlucky, or permanently damaged, your mind will begin to believe those messages. But if you speak to yourself with honesty, responsibility, and hope, you create a healthier environment for growth. This does not mean ignoring your weaknesses. It means acknowledging them without allowing them to become your identity. Say to yourself, I am learning, I am improving, I am rebuilding, I am becoming stronger through this process. Then support those words with action. Think about a person rebuilding a bridge after it has been damaged. They do not simply place a few boards on top and hope for the best. They examine the structure carefully. They remove what is unsafe. They reinforce the weak areas. They use stronger materials, and they test the bridge before trusting it to carry weight again. Your personal rebuilding process should be approached with the same care. Examine the areas of your life that need strengthening. Remove habits that weaken you. Reinforce your discipline, mindset, and character. Build with stronger principles so that your future can carry greater responsibility. Rebuilding yourself also means rebuilding your relationship with time. Time is one of your most valuable resources. The weak version of yourself may have wasted time on distractions, excuses, and habits that produce little growth. The stronger version of yourself learns to invest time wisely. Use your time to learn new skills, improve your health, strengthen your relationships, pursue meaningful goals, and develop the qualities that will serve you in the future. Every hour invested in growth is an investment in the person you are becoming. Do not become discouraged if progress is not immediately visible. A builder does not abandon a construction project because the building is incomplete after one day. The builder understands that meaningful structures take time. Your growth is the same. Some changes will be visible quickly, while others will develop gradually beneath the surface. Trust the process. Trust the repetition. Trust the small daily improvements that may seem insignificant now, but will become powerful over time. There is also a deep power in rebuilding your confidence through action. Confidence is not built by waiting to feel ready. It is built by doing what you said you would do. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you create evidence that you can be trusted. Every completed task strengthens your belief in your own ability. Every disciplined decision sends a message to your mind, I am capable of following through. Over time, these small acts of integrity create a foundation of self-respect that cannot be easily shaken. As you continue rebuilding, remember that the goal is not perfection. Perfection is often a disguise for fear. The goal is progress. The goal is consistency. The goal is becoming a little stronger, wiser, healthier, and more disciplined each day. There will be setbacks. There will be days when you fall short of your standards. When that happens, do not quit. Learn from the setback, adjust your approach, and return to the work. Rebuilding is not about never making mistakes. It is about refusing to let mistakes define your future. One day, you will look back and realize that the person you are becoming was built during the seasons when nobody else understood the process. It was built during the mornings when you chose discipline over comfort. It was built during the evenings when you chose learning over distraction. It was built during the moments when you wanted to quit but decided to continue. Those quiet decisions are creating a version of you that is stronger, more resilient, and better prepared for the opportunities ahead. So keep rebuilding yourself. Keep strengthening your foundation. Keep replacing destructive habits with productive ones. Keep developing the mindset, discipline, and character that your future requires. Do not rush the process, and do not underestimate the value of small, consistent actions. Every day you choose growth, you are adding another brick to the life you are building. And when the rebuilding is complete, you will not simply have a better life. You will have become a better person. You will have developed the strength to face challenges, the discipline to pursue your goals, the wisdom to learn from setbacks, and the confidence that comes from knowing you built yourself through intentional choices. That is the true reward of rebuilding yourself. It is not just a change in circumstances, it is the transformation of the person living through those circumstances. Your past may explain where you have been, but it does not have to determine where you are going. Your mistakes may have shaped you, but they do not have to limit you. Your current situation may be difficult, but it is not permanent. You have the ability to rebuild, to grow, to learn, and to create a new chapter. So start today. Start with one disciplined choice. Start with one honest conversation with yourself. Start with one action that moves you toward the person you want to become. And then keep building, one day at a time, until your life reflects the strength, wisdom, and purpose that you have been developing within yourself.